Hello, my name is Latte North Mystery Man. This is my NXT Great American Badge 2023 review. And well, I'm sure you're wondering why this is 2 days late and why I'm in a completely different venue and why I'm in a completely different venue and vicinity. Well, it's mainly because I am currently, as I'm recording it, on vacation. So the next couple of videos will look a lot different. We'll have this background. But that's why I couldn't make it Sunday because I was busy packing. That's why I couldn't make it yesterday because I was busy driving. So I reviewed it. So I watched it Saturday, and I rewatched it in the car because I had 4.5 hours of driving ahead of me. So I'm like, I might as well rewatch it. Give me something to do. So first off, let's get into it. The first match was the 8-person mixed tag team match on the pre-show. I watched the pre-show, but I did not feel like fully reviewing it because it was not that side. It was a good match, and Nathan Frazier, UCB, Valentina Flores, and Dragon Lee won. Remember, they beat Metaphor, Noam Dar, Jet Jackson, who I had no idea who she was until like 2 weeks ago. Lash Legend, who I figured that was Lash Legend. I figured she looked like Lash Legend. Like, this has got to be Lash Legend. And Ola Minso, who I think was Amos Smith in NXT UK, or was Amos Smith tag team partner in NXT UK? He was Ola Minso was Oliver Carter, I think. Yeah, I think he was Oliver Carter. But the first match on the NXT Great American Badge main program was the D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stack Lorenzo defeated Gallus. Defeated Gallus, Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey to become the brand new NXT Tag Team Champions. Well, Lorenzo and Wolfgang started the match. Lorenzo with a nice forearm and a nice drop kick a nice forearm to Wolfgang, and then a nice drop kick to Mark Coffey because Wolfgang and Lorenzo wasn't actually in the match together all that long. Then D'Angelo comes in and controls the match. A nice double team. Joe grabs Stack's leg, counter from Stack's. Stack didn't get Heyman by Wolfgang. Mark's apparently the calm one according to the commentary team. Don't agree with that, but okay. Joe cheats to help Wolfgang. Mark Coffey didn't isolate Stacks over and over again. They keep missing the hot tags. And then eventually Tony comes back in and basically beats down on Mark and Wolf by himself, belly to belly. Wolfgang saves the match. Wolfgang tosses Marks on Tony. Wolfgang tries to cheat. Gallus hit the finisher. Tony saves the match. Powerbombs Mark into Wolfgang. That was actually a very good spot. I really enjoyed that spot because it clearly showed Tony D'Angelo's level of thinking to isolate to use one against the other. Isolate Wolfgang enough to where Mark could then be hit with the bada boom, bada bang for the finisher. 1, 2, 3. The D'Angelo family are your new NXT Tag Team Champions to win the Tag Team Championships. My opinions on D'Angelo family winning? Perfect. It's about time. I like Gallus, but they've been champions long enough. Plus, it was kind of just the same bullshit with them. And plus, let's not cut corners here. Wolfgang, let's not cut corner here. Joe Coffey was basically the star, despite the fact that he was in none of these matches. I think Joe Coffey has had like one match, and then one match in NXT. That was like in 2022 before they all got suspended. So after that, so I'm happy for them. And then, Carmelo Hayes, Trickery, Miro, and the Dragon fight. I've always been confused about this in a sense of, what does it matter that these people arrived? It's like, there's no timestamp. It's just like, these people have arrived earlier today. In case you was wondering, everyone's here now. Yeah, you assume everybody's here. I just always assumed everybody was there. So anyways, the next match was a Weapon Wild match between Roxanne Perez defeated Brad Davenport. And if you don't know who Brad Davenport is, she was basically beat Priestley with Will Ospreay during the original one of the Empire, when they were just called the Empire before there was the United Empire. But I'm not gonna talk about Will Ospreay. You want to talk about Good thing I did not review Forbidden Door, because boy, would I not have not a nice thing to say about Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega 2. Or as I like to call it, Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega 2, Electric Boogaloo bullshit of gymnastics. So anyways, they had a Blair Davenport and Roxanne Perez had a fight in a grocery store trying to recreate Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T's big grocery store from 2001. It was interesting. It was an interesting thing. Then they had a fight at DreamCon. I was confused of why Wes Lee was there, but he was the only NXT superstar there. Everybody else just looked like random people who actually walked there. Would have made a little bit more sense if you didn't shove Wes Lee in there and like, oh yeah, Wes Lee's here, so clearly this was staged. Make it come out more weird. Roxanne Perez is hugging her sister and mom. Her sister seemed like she had no idea what was going on. I'm not trying to put her sister down, but she seemed like she has absolutely zero idea what was going on in this match. Blair attacks Roxanne from the outside. They fighting on the outside. Blair gets a chair. Blair has taken out many women, and Roxanne Perez is now fighting on behalf of all those women. She's fighting for women everywhere, apparently. Fighting on the outside. Blair gets a chair. Blair grabs a bunch of weapons and yells at Booker T because, as everyone knows, Roxanne Perez is basically Booker T's daughter in NXT. Which is weirder since her mom is shown and clearly they are not together, so that makes it even weirder. Booker T is basically a mentor, her, I don't know. Then she gives a running knee from Perez. Perez splash Blair through the table. Perez finally hit pop locks, pins, and wins the match. Because that was a whole big thing in the match. Can Perez hit pop locks? Like, I get that the match was supposed to be Roxanne Perez as, like, kind of the underdog. But that only works if she can't hit the move. If the person is, like, Big Show, Great Khali, like a 7-foot giant person, or just, like, a very heavy person. But no offense to Blair Davenport, but she ain't... I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm just saying I don't see Blair Davenport on the team. Could she hit her sunset flip on her? Yes. Because Roxanne Perez is not a small person. This ain't no Lesser Bridge situation where she's literally 5 feet tall. Roxanne Perez gotta be at least, 5'2", 5'3". She's not a very short. She's not very tall, but she's also not very short. So that kind of made no sense with this supposed grud match, grocery store DreamCon fight of the ages. But it was a good match. I really liked Roxanne Perez. NXT just had employed way too many women to the point that literally they have so many women employed on NXT that I am genuinely concerned that they have hired literally every single woman who does not work for Impact or AEW that's in the professional wrestling business. Like, if you're not signed to another professional wrestling company, you work for NXT. Because NXT have way too many women employed. I mean, they had so many women improved. They could do they did a 20 women battle royal in January of 2023, and they still didn't include all the women. Raw and SmackDown combined barely goes over, like, if you take every woman on Raw and SmackDown, that's like 22. And NXT might have double that. And they only called up, like, Indy Hartwell, who has not wrestled one time, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who got squashed by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, who then lost the Women's Tag Team Championships to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who then lost them to Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. So that made no sense. Don't know what that was all about. But anyway, this was a very great match. Roxanne Perez is amazing. Let's be perfectly honest here. Star of everything she does. She's amazing. Let's be perfectly honest here. She's phenomenal. She's very attractive. She's good in the ring. She's got it all. She's also the same age as me, so she got it all. She's not even in her prime yet. So imagine what she's going to be like in 10 years from now. He's gonna be unbelievable. So the next match was Gable Stevenson's professional wrestling debut against Baron Corbin. Gable Stevenson, good match. He had a good first match. Everything was actually really good. I didn't really review this spot by spot. I'm just going to tell my opinion of Gable Stevenson as a professional wrestler so far. One of the founding fathers of hip hop from the mighty Soul Sonic. Who, by the way, happened to be a Car Shield customer, and I had no idea. When I saw you represent Car Shield, I knew Car Shield was the real deal. You've always been official. You call me and you. I mean, he had a good first match. Don't get me wrong. Everything he did was great. Is he the next Kurt Angle? Probably not. Could he be the next Kurt Angle? Possibly. Do I see it? Do I see it right now in this moment? No, but then again, I don't think people thought Kurt Angle was Kurt Angle in 1999, 1998. They should have had him come out to Kurt Angle's music, though. That would have been hilarious. But they could have changed it up a little bit to, you know, get rid of the... They could have used Kurt Angle's theme song from 2006. Or to get out the "You Suck" chant, they could have just had them yell Gable. They could have just had him yell Gable the entire time. Sorry. They could have just had him yell Gable the whole time. I don't know. They could have done something with his theme song. So they just found a bunch of generic music. Okay, this works.
I've been a Car Show customer for close to 7 years. Had 3 vehicles covered, and they saved me close to $9,000. With coverage through Car Shield's administrator, 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy tone, rental reimbursement.
Clearly, they could have done something a little bit better with his music, but he had a great first match. He did a great Barry to Barry on Baron Corbin, honestly. I'm a big Sun Kids fan. He did a great Barry to Barry on Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin actually gave Gable Stevenson a lot, and Baron Corbin has been doing it for nearly a decade. Apparently in 2 years it'd be a decade, because apparently he's been doing it for 8 years, apparently, or 9, maybe 8 or 9 years. So that should be fun. What else did I say? I honestly love the ending. Because like Vic Jokes has said, this went from a professional wrestling debut into a fight by the end. Because Baron Corbin was beaten bad enough to where Gable Stevenson couldn't win. Gable Stevenson couldn't win, but Baron Corbin couldn't win either. Baron Corbin was counted out. The rookie. The guy who made his first professional match, he beat the guy who retired Kurt Angle, and they brought that up. Don't feel good. Never liked that. Didn't like it at the time. If I had a review at the time, I would have gone, no, this is horrible. So, what else happened? Oh yeah, next match. So first off, Gable Stevenson, big fan. I like Gable Stevenson. I would love to see where he goes from here. I'm excited. It's weird that they drafted him to Raw nearly 2 years ago. But now he's on NXT, but hey. Apparently everybody starts on NXT now, unless you're AJ Styles. Unless you're AJ Styles, who that wouldn't make no sense. Unless I guess he wanted to, but good thing he did it. So the next match was Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Oh, I'm sorry. NXT North American Champion Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Wes Lee versus Mustafa Ali. My opinion on this match. One word. One word to Shawn Michaels. Why, Shawn? Who do you... What is Shawn Michaels' idea here exactly? That Dirty Dominic Mysterio is a good choice to beat the man who was NXT North American Champion for 261 days, longest reigning NXT North American Champion, greatest NXT North American Champion of all time, most defenses as an NXT North American Champion, most open challenges ever been completed. I'm assuming he beat John Cena's record. Wes Lee made the NXT North American Championship mean something again. Made it mean something in the sense that it was a belt people because Wes Lee was such a great champion. The belt doesn't make the champion. The champion makes the belt. If the champion's not believable, no one's gonna care about the belt. And everybody boos Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, not because he's a good heel, because nobody likes the dude. Because the dude's annoying. The dude has a fake prison gimmick, which does not work in NXT since Tony D'Angelo went to prison. Which does not work in NXT since Tony D'Angelo went to prison. At least he went to actual prison for 3 months. That's a normal prison sentence. Dominic Mysterio was in prison for 2 days, for like 2 days, or maybe 5 minutes. Mr. Beast made a video when he spent 48 hours in prison. More believable than Dominic Mysterio time in prison. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of this whole Dirty Dominic Mysterio or the whole Judgment Day as a whole. Rhea Ripley as Women's World Champion is okay, but doesn't work for me because she's basically Dominic Mysterio's whole entire gimmick. They're dating. I don't care. I know pro wrestling is a male soap opera, but this is just stupid because no one would believe these two people would date.
Why didn't you call anybody for help?
What do you think I'm doing? Praying someone will find Jasper.
But my whole thing with the whole Dirty Dominic Mysterio as NXT North American Champion, I just don't believe it. You mean to tell me that Wesley beat 4 men at Stand Deliver, but a belt shot from a woman, granted it's Rhea Ripley, but still beat him? Really? I'm supposed to believe that. Okay.
It must be from the stadium.
I hope he loses at some point, because I don't, because now you bury the NXT North American Championship, and now I'm going on a rant about Dominic Mysterio. I wanted to save this for my SummerSlam review, but I guess I can go on about that too. Also, I love how when he's on Raw or SmackDown, he has the NXT logo as his nameplate, but then when he's on NXT, he has the Judgment Day logo. He has the Judgment Day thing. Like, okay. But I love how they have to announce it with Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. Yes, because she matters so much. Because the Women's World Championship matters so much. Is it even being defended at SummerSlam? No. Also, it used to be the SmackDown Women's Championship, which is just so confusing. But the next match was for the NXT Women's Championship. NXT, I think Buck Barbie Doll Tiffany Stratton took on 19-year-old Thea Hale, representing Chase University. I love Chase U, honestly. I was an Andre Chase fan even when he was a heel. Like, there was a video made on Andre Chase like in 2021 where you only watched it if you knew who Andre Chase was. I love Andre Chase. He's phenomenal. Chase U's great. It's the closest thing I will ever see to a college, because I did not go to college. And this was a submission match because Thea Hale's whole gimmick is that she's a female Brock Lesnar apparently with the Kimura lock. I know Brock Lesnar would never show up in NXT, but good lord, it would be hilarious if they got him for like a voiceover or something. Or like you had them go to Raw and Brock Lesnar goes, "You're using my move. Good on you. If you can make it work, make it work." Because now apparently she's the female Brock Lesnar, and she's apparently 19 years old. I don't know if I hope she's actually 19, because if not, I don't know why you would go with this gimmick.
Are you suggesting
Also, just kind of weird that it's kind of weird, you know. But oh well. But this match was actually surprisingly, out of all the matches on this card, this match was the one I could care the least about, because I figured Tiffany Stratton was not losing. And Thea Hale was not winning, but I didn't think it was going to be a good match. Although there's some history here this is the youngest NXT Women's Championship match in PLE history. Well, considering they only started last year, that makes sense. The combined age of these two women is 43 years old.
Detective Benson?
For verbatim. I have been alive for 21 years.
What's going on?
These two women are like 10 years younger than my age. This match is a combined age of 10 years younger than me. Or something like that. I was not very good at math.
Sweetheart, I thought you said you two were just friends.
So after that, Tiffany goes for a pin, but of course this is a submission match, so the ref was like, no, you can't do that. Tiffany goes for a submission. Tia tries an armbar. It was a kind of botchy match. It was kind of like a botched dive, but it was kind of botchy. Then she falls into a turnbuckle. Tiffany does work on her lower spine and back and lower spine. Knee to the back. Dia go for a top rope belly to belly. Love that. That was awesome. Tiffany used the rope to get out. Like the ref, like Vic Jones say that you can't use a rope, but Booker T was like, she's using the rope to get out because she used the rope to her advantage to get out of the maneuver. Tiffany used the ropes to get out. Then she goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, which has to be a play on Christopher Daniels' BME, best moonsault ever, PME. Then Tiffany lost in a Boston. Basically, she walks in Chris Jericho's Lion Tamer, but instead of doing it on the head, she does it on the knee. And then eventually Andre Chase throws in the towel, which I like that because it shows Andre Chase cares about his students. But at the same time, is Duke Hudson going to turn heel now? Because it looks like he's going to turn heel. So wouldn't it make more sense for Duke Hudson to do this and not the guy who supposedly supports her? I don't know. This just came off as weird with the ending, but.
There's a story in every piece of land.
Oh, and then afterward, but my thoughts on that match? It was a pretty good match. I think it's actually my second favorite match of the night behind. The third best wrestled match, in my second favorite match behind the D'Angelo family win, just because I was so excited. I was literally jumping up and down like, yes, finally. Also, Tony D'Angelo's his whole gimmick is he's from New York, and my grandfather's from New York, so it's kind of interesting. Also, my